Hello mouses! I've been planning to make a video on this topic for a while now, but things keep getting in the way. It's an annoyance, but I've worked out a new schedule for myself that should let me balance my work better, and that means more videos for you lucky people. So yesterday I tweeted the news that Rolf Harris, the famous artist and children's entertainer, is to be charged with 7 more counts of sexual assault on top of the crimes that he's already in jail for. When I was a kid, Rolf's shows on children's TV were incredibly influential. They are one of the biggest reasons why I was able to become a cartoonist, and when I created reality TV, a web TV channel, back in 1996-97, I can't remember exactly when, I think it was 96, then I used techniques that I learned from Rolf's shows to animate the site's cartoons. All this means that the news about Rolf Harris facing even more sex crime charges is important to me because it's yet another case of feeling utterly betrayed by a childhood hero. Not everyone feels the same way that I do, however. A guy on Twitter, let's call him Mork, decided that the jury in Rolf's previous trial, the one where he was actually found guilty and sentenced to prison, didn't have access to the facts. And if they had read a website that he didn't link me to, by the way, even though he repeatedly kept telling me to read it, they would have reached a different conclusion. I find this kind of attitude worrying. Not only is it clearly a case of confirmation bias, because the guy started this conversation by making his bias known when he told me, "I met him when I was a teenager and he was very nice and respectful to me and all others." But it's also naive. Mark's argument here is that a website is able to present a more true version of events in the courtroom, a place that is specifically designed to allow both sides of a dispute to make their case, present their evidence, and to disprove evidence presented by their opponents. Websites do none of that. And before any of you say, well, there's room for debate in the comments, no, there's not. Just go and look at the comments section of any site, and you'll see that for yourself. What's going on here is that someone looks at some evidence, or in many cases simply makes up some evidence, and presents it in a way that suits whatever point they want to make. It could be anything. The mechanism is the same regardless. Let's say you want to prove that Cthulhu is real and that he's causing states of insanity at regular intervals throughout recorded history. The first thing you need to do is grab a load of reports about strange goings on, weird crimes, intake statistics for mental hospitals around the world, and so forth. Now you collate all those documents into a bunch of easily digested charts so you can present them to your readers. If the statistics don't match what you're wanting to say, discard the ones that don't fit, or reinterpret them in a way that works for you. It says here you're collecting Disney Infinity figures so that you can build an army of minions and take over the world. Yeah, no, that's not true at all. Oh really? Well, why is there a picture here of you surrounded by an army of Groots, and you're sitting atop a throne of plastic crap, cackling manically? That's not what it looks like, I swear. After that, grab evidence of strange sightings at sea, of cultist or cult-like activity around the same time that your insanity evidence comes from, and anything else you can find, photographs, newspaper clippings, witness accounts, and so forth. This is all great supporting evidence for your statistics. Now, write up the best argument that you can to convince your readers that the evidence you're presenting is real. Keep coming back to your supporting evidence no matter how tenuous the relationship between the evidence and your arguments. As long as you're backing up your claims with supposed facts, you're doing okay. This website here says you bought 1,000 spectrums off eBay in order to create an artificial brain. Well, it's on the internet, so it must be true. What's Project Clive? I have no idea. Well, this website here says that's what you call your mountain of spectrum. That's ridiculous. Oh, so it's not true then, is it? Of course it's not true. Pure Amstrads. Now you've got the basis for an argument as solid as any other on some random guy's website on the internet. Now you might think this has taken it a bit to extreme somewhat, and you would be right. Cthulhu isn't real. Of course he's not. He was made up by a pulp magazine writer in the 1920s, but the methodology behind creating this example website is real. This is what you do if you want to present a compelling argument on the internet, and you do it whether you're presenting real facts or whether you're trying to sell snake oil to whichever rube happens to pass by. If you present your so-called evidence in a compelling way, people will believe whatever crap you're trying to sell them. Moreover, if you convince them well enough, some of them will start to go out and try to convince others on your behalf. I'm reminded of an argument that my religious education teacher once told me in the first year of secondary school. Don't believe what you read just because you read it. No matter who's telling you something, always try to verify it for yourself, because you never know who's trying to lie to you. He gave us an example of what he meant. When you go to a museum and you see a sword in a display case, the card beside it might tell you, this is King Richard's sword. But what if I wait until you're not looking and then I swap the card for one that says the sword is mine? How do you know it's not? How do you know that someone didn't do that already with some other card before you got there and it's actually someone else's sword? You don't. Not unless you check for yourself. Museums get things wrong, sometimes because they don't have all the facts and are just going on best guesses, and sometimes because they have an agenda to push. So don't believe what you see just because you see it. Anyway, that's really all I've got time for this week, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you did like this, and if you did, remember to click the like button, share it with your friends so that they'll know not to believe everything they see as well, and do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching the Nobmouse show, and I'll see you later.